Hello, I'm Ken Hayes, and season's greetings to you from everybody in the astronomy department here at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. This is your fun fact for the day. So today we are going to answer the question, why does space smell like burnt steak? Well, first of all, we have to define what smell is. We smell things because chemical compounds enter our noses and interact with special cells in our nose called olfactory receptors. Those receptors then generate an electrical signal, which is sent to our brain, and our brain interprets those electrical signals as smell. Now, those compounds, of course, are carried on air. There's not a lot of air in space, so we can't smell space directly. In fact, if you tried, you'd die rather quickly. But space is not empty. There are all kinds of particles and atoms floating around in outer space, and those particles get attracted to the spacesuits that our astronauts wear, either out at the International Space Station or in the case of the Apollo astronauts, when they landed on the moon. Those particles are attracted and stick to the spacesuits, which they then carry back into the spacecraft where there is air and where we can smell them. Now, the most likely culprit for this smell of space is a set of compounds called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Notice the word aromatic in that title. Now, those compounds are found throughout the universe. They are found in the birth of stars. They're found on comets and asteroids. And they're created when, wait for it, we burn meat on a grill. It's estimated that 20% of all the carbon in the universe is tied up in polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. How space smells depends on the astronaut, because everybody's nose is a little bit different. Space has been described as smelling like a sweet metallic aroma, like the fumes that are given off when you do arc welding. One astronaut described it as a mix of walnuts and brake pads. And also it's been described as the smell of burnt almond cookies. But the most common smell is, you guessed it, the smell of steaks grilling on a grill. Now, there's another smell that comes up a lot, and that is ozone. And it probably is actually ozone that our astronauts are smelling. Free oxygen atoms floating around out in space get stuck to our astronaut spacesuits. They bring them back into the atmosphere of the space station or the spacecraft, and they combine with the O2 in the air to make O3, and O3, of course, is ozone. So they're actually probably smelling ozone. It's the smell you get when electrical equipment give off sparks, or in the case of lightning, strike a big spark. Now, there are other smells in space. The Apollo astronaut Buzz Aldrin described the smell of the moon as like slightly damp ashes in a fireplace. Another Apollo astronaut said the moon smells like spent gunpowder. All of our planets have their own smells. Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune don't have great atmospheres, so they probably don't have much of a smell. Venus and Mars have a lot of hydrogen sulfide, so they smell a lot like rotten eggs. Jupiter, the biggest of the planet, it depends on where you are in the atmosphere, what you're smelling. It can smell like ammonia, it can smell like bitter almonds, or it can smell like the ever-present rotten eggs. And the smelliest planet in the solar system is, you guessed it, Uranus. Insert juvenile joke here. Finally, in the middle of our galaxy, spectrum analysis of the light from that part of our galaxy reveals that there's a lot of a compound called ethyl format, and that's the smell that gives rum and raspberries their aromas. So cheers to all you future space travelers.